be sure to have a spare controller handy because these games are pad-breaking frustrating!
Let's go!
These games are very, very difficult, and we know what most of the most difficult games are.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
They're hard, and I don't like playing them, honestly. It's not because I don't like a challenge, but sometimes they're just so frustrating that it's not worth it.
Have you ever broken a controller?
I've broken a controller before, but not out of frustration.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. I have broken other things out of frustration, but not that.
I see.
So,
video game stuff's too expensive.
Yeah, video game stuff is too expensive. Yep, exactly. It's like...
Yeah, I haven't either, but I know I have, like, at least with my DS or 3DS, like, I think I've gone like, and then the screen goes like, back and forth. And stuff.
Yeah, and then you're like...
It's kind of scary.
Yeah, and it kind of snaps you out of it, like, oh.
Yes.
Oh, no.
The snapping of the screen snaps me out of it. So first up, you got Ninja Gaiden.
Yes, Ninja Gaiden. Everybody knows this game is hard. If you've played this...
I didn't know that.
It is so... You didn't know this?
No.
Okay, so it starts out easy enough, and it slowly ramps up.
But I mean, NES games are hard, so what makes this different?
Okay, the Eagles. Okay, if there's one thing... No, it's not my favorite band. They're not a terrible band, but they're not my favorite band.
Oh.
But these Eagles come swooping in from the screen, and you only have a second to react to them.
Uh-huh.
And if you go back and then go forward, it's one of those games that respawns the enemies. So you don't want to be going back and forth, especially when they're Eagles. Very, very difficult game. And then you get to the last level, which, normally if you die, they send you like back, to the beginning of your section or whatever.
Yeah.
Like if you lose a continue, back to the beginning of that section. If you die on the final boss of this game, you go back to the very beginning of that chapter.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, if you were to die right before the boss, just the beginning part of that level.
So it'd be like on Mario, if you died on Bowser, you go back to 8-1?
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
That kind of defeats the purpose of levels.
It does. It does. And, well, most of the game, it's just, oh, man, I died. I have to restart this section.
Yeah.
But no, go all the way back.
Wow.
Such a pain. So difficult. I've never made it to the final boss. I made it to the final level, but just gets my blood boiling just thinking about it.
All right. Well, let me take over then with Super Mario Bros. 2, The Lost Levels. Not Mario Bros. 2 that we got here in America. They withheld the Lost Levels game from us because they said this is going to be too hard for the American audience.
Yes.
So it was a Japan-only game. It was never really localized until on Wii. I got to play it on Virtual Console. It was really nice that they offered it for download.
Indeed. Actually, we did get it in Super Mario All-Stars
for really?
SNES.
Okay, cool. So,
but not on the NES. We didn't get it.
Okay, so this game, it was just incredibly punishing. Anything they could do to make the game harder for you, they did. And it was supposed to be for like the people that beat the first one, like an extra challenge for them. And it certainly was, because instead of like super mushrooms, a lot of them are poison mushrooms, and they didn't look that different. But if you touched it, you would die. Reverse warp pipes. So, all the places in Mario where you know your secrets and you walk over the ceiling and you get to skip a bunch of worlds. Well, they would just send you backwards in the game to like the first world and stuff. So, there are reverse warp pipes that you will find, and if you don't want to take it, there will be a little pit for you to throw yourself into to die, commit suicide. And then there are other ones where there's no pit, so you literally have to wait for the timer to run out, and it's just horrible. There's wind that makes the platforming just ridiculous.
To me, that would be the scariest part, and the most annoying part is the wind.
Yep, and there are huge jumps that are like leaps of faith, and then they combine that with
With
wind
wind,
sometimes,
yeah.
so it's ridiculous, even more so. And it's just like Super Mario Maker type of levels before Super Mario Maker ever existed.
Yeah.
Leaps of faith, invisible blocks that you have to find. It is crazy. I actually beat it though.
Yes, way to go.
I get into hard games and try to beat them.
I sometimes get frustrated, and like I said, it's not because I don't like a challenge, because I do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like the Mega Man games, so I do like a challenge.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's so frustrating and difficult that it's like,
Yeah.
I would not feel that satisfied even if I beat this game.
Well, Mega Man games have like keys to beating them.
Yeah.
Order to do it in. You can get the right toolkit to pass certain stuff with.
Yep.
These games
Big
are
strategy.
abusive games.
Yes, they are. Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz is so darn difficult and
What are you
frustrating.
talking about?
Have you not done the one-player mode?
Not all the way.
No, you haven't, because you've been playing those 50 mini games that half of them don't work.
Right.
So hard, so difficult, so frustrating. You know, it's... Okay, have you ever actually played what the Monkey Ball games are based off of? Those Labyrinth games?
Yeah.
Where it's a wooden box and you're trying to get the
talking about
marble
in
through?
real life?
Yes.
Yeah.
So hard. Those are difficult.
Yes.
This thing is like, you don't have a control stick for precision. You have your Wii remote, and you're trying to get it just right so that the ball goes down this long, narrow path with edges on both sides, and you can't go too fast.
No.
Because then you're going to shoot off the end, or if you go too slow, you're going to fall off the end.
Yep.
The GameCube games are difficult, but this game is so frustrating, especially without like motion plus controls.
Oh boy. And then your next one?
Yes, the next one is 1942, which doesn't get talked about a lot. Very, very fun game made by Capcom for the NES.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of an arcade style game. So I think that's one of the reasons why people don't put this in, most difficult list. But there is a progression. You start at like level 32, I think it is, and your goal is to get to level 1. Oh. And it counts down each time you reach the aircraft carrier.
Well, I'm pretty sure the farthest I ever got was 32.
It's hard, and it required a long, long time. I played this on the Play Choice 10, and I'd have to like leave it on for weeks as I returned to the church to try and progress and beat it. I finally did.
Wow, that's awesome.
I cannot imagine somebody who can beat this game on one continue.
Well, the hardest game that I ever beat on Nintendo platforms was called N+, and this started out as like a Flash game. It's gone through many iterations, and N++ is probably coming to Switch. The developer wants to make it happen, but N+ was on DS. I got it for like $5 because it was that unpopular. And it's pretty much like a stick figure version of Meat Boy, if you think of that kind of platformer where you have to have such precision and everything kills you, and there's razors and
you can't
spikes
kill anything.
and everything. Right. So, but you're a ninja. You're a ninja, not a hunk of meat. So that's cool. The game is completely based around like insane wall jumping and all this platforming and stuff with physics and like platforms that will move and like bounce and stuff, and you have to land on them and not bounce them into a spike. And everything kills you. There's like homing missiles. And
I remember the homing missiles.
So, didn't you like break into pieces in this game too?
Yeah.
Like you die so often, it had to be a fun animation. So
yes.
And whenever you think you're done with this game, there's like another 50 levels just to reveal themselves. So
that's frustrating.
Yeah, and it's just like this little indie game that was made like for browsers, and it's very easy for them to build levels. I mean, there's just few resources, so they made like 1,000 levels or something.
So difficult,
huge,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
We know we're missing some, and these ones usually get more airtime as far as like these are the most difficult games. Contra and the sequels, they're all difficult. The sequels are probably even more difficult. Mega Man 3, which is probably the most difficult Mega Man game I can think of. I felt so satisfying beating that. Bionic Commando, which I hate. Super Castlevania 4, which is very difficult. Still haven't completed that game.
Mm-hmm.
And, Battletoads, which I barely played, and many other games which I haven't played.
Yes.
And a lot of games that don't have legitimate difficulty and are just completely... What are you doing?
Wii Fit.
Oh, is Wii Fit difficult?
Yeah.
Because it requires physical exertion.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the tree pose, everybody. I don't know if you can see my legs, but I was doing really cool leg moves.
He does that. So these were our most difficult games that we've played.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the crew.
Don't forget to share this video with your friends who I'm sure have had frustrating games of their own.
See you guys next time.
Signing out.